out here for you. You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you.
We choose truth over facts.
Never go full retard.
Come on, man.
Hey, Tim, how are we going? Let's just make sure we've got some sound. Seems to be the bane of our existence in the past. How are we going? Thumbs up for sound, wired for sound. Keith Richards, wired for sound. Yes? No. Sound good? Mr. Buccarini, a clean shave. Shit, it feels good. Morale high, man. It's high here too. Guys, how we going? Let's see it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. Ed B. G'day, mate. Ed Jr., how you going, buddy? I see that your dad is trying to get in touch with me, one of my favourite people in the world over in the USA, and you're going for your infantry expert badge. That's pretty fitting because tonight we're talking about meritocracy, bring it back. In case you don't know, Australia is in a bit of trouble, mate, a bit of trouble, because what's happened is in order to meet the standards or the targets for female representation in the Australian Army, we had to lower the standards significantly so that we could keep those numbers. Also, what occurred was we started saying no a couple of years ago to the right people that were applying for different jobs. And then we found that the modern society, on average, is not up to the physical task, as well as maybe there's too many captains speaking to them, say, do this, do that, or it could be a countermeasure from TikTok, from YouTube, from Instagram, etc. Maybe it's just good times mean that people don't want to get off their ass. Maybe it's a drop in testosterone levels. Maybe it's an increase in estrogen levels, argumentative. It's never my fault. Sense of entitlement that we're starting to see in the military these days. But we need to turn around. I've got 5 plans to do that, and I'll be laying it out to you today. G'day, Trav. How you going, mate? Mr. Buccarini's had a clean shave. Had a good talk to Mr. Buccarini just before, showing the hands of colour. Grey man. Now, I'm getting grey now. Downstairs. You won't see it in my hair. Just got back from an epic week and a half where I've been up the coast seeing my best buddies, veteran mates, then down to Canberra to see my mates, as well as the fallen at the Canberra War Memorial. And, man, every year it breaks my heart whenever I go there, to see all of these people that fought for different reasons, and a lot of them didn't come home. But to see the love and the work that they've done in the Canberra War Memorial, and it costs nothing for parking, and it costs nothing for entry. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And it's state of the art. The people who set that up, the tradies, really have deserved, a clap on the back for the work they've done. But it's not about them today. It's about you. We're in 2025 now. And we've seen with the T-Man, the Commander-in-Chief has stepped in. We're seeing people like Tom Homan with absolute amazing meritocracy, what would we call it, dealing of the border situation. I'm not going back to Haiti. Yes, you are. For those that haven't seen it, we'll have a look at that in a minute. It makes me laugh. I'm thinking about making that my actual ringtone, to tell you the truth. But we need to change things around the Australian Army. If there's those people that are up the top that are watching this now, I've got a little bit of a blueprint you can watch with me today to give you some hints on where you can stand out and get promotions based on the meritocracy that you show. So what are we talking about with meritocracy? What we're saying is DEI has to go. It has to go. It is not good for anything. It's how a country falls, to tell you the truth. It's giving jobs to losers and to people that will drag you down just so people feel better, not addressing the elephant in the room. And when that comes to the standards within the Australian Army, let me tell you something, or US Army, Canadian, New Zealand, English, etc., your parents, as well as you as a serving member, have every right to say, this is the standard I expect someone to be at minimum if you are going to stand beside me. And when someone turns up and they're not of a standard that can drag you out of a firefight, that can drag you out of a vehicular accident, that can do the use their weapon systems, that aren't likely to quit under pressure, fold, right, then that's who you want beside you, not someone, who is there in shadow only. You deserve better. Adam, 50 times all day, 3 hour back to Holsworthy. No, mate, no. There's too many bad things. It's not an advantage of being back in Holsworthy. Excuse my ignorance, what's DEI? That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. That is where you say we need a certain amount of females to be the firemen. We need a certain amount of gay people to represent that community. We need a certain amount of this culture so that they don't feel like they're left out. It's all bullshit. What we need is a meritocracy, but also what we need is to just get the right people for the job, and that's attitudinal. Because if your attitude is right, then you have an element of leadership. When your attitude is right, you're not making yourself the hero of the story. You're dealing with a team, saying to yourself, my biggest worry is, and should be, that I'm going to let my mates down. But a lot of that, no, we need the right leaders in too. We need the right leadership to come in and say, look, this is who I studied. This is why I want to be a leader. These are the lessons I've learned from the past, and I'm going to implement those. If given the opportunity, you'll see the cut of my jib. And we're going to get into those points in a moment. While we're talking to you, Taylor Vickers, what have you got to say, young mate? Hey, Kaz, I want to link up on Patreon for a one-on-one. I'm waiting for my letter of offer and enlistment date, and would really appreciate some extra advice before I get on the bus, you legend. Hey, Taylor, get on the in the remarks, where in the description of this video is the actual the link for wait a sec. Let's see if we've got it here. Actually, let's see if I've got it here. Wait a minute. I'll get the link for you now, buddy. So when you go on the Patreon team, you just follow the link, and then you go to where are we? Then you go to the Black Legion, and that's what you join the tier under. All the tiers are the same. It's just easy to go under the Black Legion, so we know where to find you. And then from there, I send you through, fuck, I can't do it at the moment. You're going to have to go through the remarks, mate. Oh, there we go. Wait. Jesus. No, he can't help me. Wait a second. I won't start for him, mate. Go through remarks. You'll find it there, mate. Join up, Black Legion. Send it through, and I'll be talking to you tomorrow. We've also, I won't mention his name, but we just had a fella join as I was getting ready to hook this up. Mate, I look forward to talking to you. Let's communicate in a way that men talk and listen to your dark sense of humour. G'day, Dwayne Duffy. How you going, mate? Welcome to 2025. There we go. Simon Powell's there. There's the link. He's back from Dirty Bird. We've got Adam there, the wingnut, our oldest guy. Well done. Wingnut, great to have you here. Taylor Vickers, cheers, mate. Will do. Taylor, nice name, by the way. Vickers Machine Gun. I saw one of those yesterday at the War Memorial as we were doing our tribute to the fallen. Jackie, best of luck, Taylor. I'm waiting for my assessment day interview for the infantry. Definitely get around Patreon, Black Legion. It's been valuable to me. Well done, Jack. Thank you for the appreciation there, my man. Let's get to this. It is hot here, team. I've got the air conditioner on, and I tell you what, it doesn't feel like it's working. My guys, where are we? Banners. Okay, what we're going to talk about first is the standards we're going to talk about. I'll let you know quickly. The standards are recruiting standards, leadership standards, one standard for all, warfighting standards, and retirement standards. And we'll communicate those. And hopefully what happens now is we get a really clean, unbroken stream. So hopefully that's a good one for you. Bam. Right. The first one we're going to be talking about, pissing down here in the northern beaches. So here in up north, it's pissing down too. Simon Power, 28 degrees at Port Macquarie. Blake Smith, convincing combo. Blake, thanks for the convincing lady week after a podcast. Remember, I'm no contrarian. Okay, thanks for the convincing last week, I think he's saying. So Blakey and I, we have great comebacks on, or back and forth on Patreon. By all means, team, come in here, go hard, hit the likes, if you can. If you feel like throwing in any sort of super chat, that goes towards my daughter's future, not mine. Chicky Diggy, Wes, how you going? Pissing down far up north. I wish it was raining here. Well, it is, but not enough. Recruiting stands. Okay. Recruiting stands need to be fast. It needs to be, we need to go back. No one can tell me why we can't still walk back into a recruiting center, a DFR office, where you can walk in and get most of the answers straight away from someone who is either Army, Air Force, and Navy. And there should be absolutely no civilians in that office that are giving advice that have never served in the military. Having said that, what a fantastic place for people that have got out of the Army to go and then work there, like an APS sort of service, where they could get captured there. They could have done like Bucko over 20 years in signals. You could have people there from artillery, the dreaded corps. You could have people from infantry, from submariners, from special forces, etc. And they might be doing that as well as maybe Army Reserve. Maybe they're doing study. Maybe they're doing a trade. I don't know. But that would be a good one. But recruiting standards need to change. It needs to be fast. It needs to be shorter. It needs to be expedient. It needs to be when you walk through that door, the door closes behind you. You've had a conversation. We have a motivating video for you to watch. We give you a cup of coffee and a Red Bull. We give you a pen and play around with that. Test out your signature, then lock it in. When you walk in, you should see people at work at recruiting that don't look like melting ice cream. People that look like they could still swing an axe, swing a punch, have wisdom, have a cut to their jib, a straight spine, no double chins, something that looks like, holy shit, he's been in for a long time, but he's got confidence and knows what he does. And not only that, he wants to make this conversation work with me. Don't get me wrong. We get some lab experiments turn up to recruiting. We really do. You've got to remember that you've got a percentage of the population, that they've got all the heart in the world, but they just don't have the faculties to join. So it's a magnet for unusual people as well. When you go into the recruiting office, there should be some sort of conversation that lets you understand, yes, you're in the right place, or mate, you might have some work to do. Is there any questions you want to ask me off the record right now? And then off you go and you fix those up. But when you go in there, that recruiting needs to be to a standard where they tell you the truth as well. It needs to be short. You should know within a month whether you're going to the military or not. It should have combined musters where you all come in and you do your medical, you do your psychological, you do your written or interview, and that all goes ahead. Absolutely, Kaz. Bring back defence force recruiting centres. Yep, mate, let us walk in. Naris, it should be made clear to applicants the PFA is not the actual standard once you get in. That is a fantastic one, mate. Naris, well done, mate. That's some honesty right there. The PFA is not a test in any stage of the Army other than the bullshit lie that they give you when you actually go to DFR itself. It is not the standard. If that is the standard you go in, you are going to fail your military career. We're going to go to all one standard soon. We'll be speaking about that. Yeah, here we go. Mr. Buccarini says, hello, young fella, fuck off, lose 20 kilos, come back. Yep, that's great advice. You need to understand that when people talk to you, when you go in the recruiting office, they're going to speak to you in a language where they don't care about your feelings, so that you know that you're going to the last frontier where you have truth that's coming down the pipe, where you've got the wisdom of those that have actually walked in the steps before that give you the best chances of a great solution and joining a team, the team that represents our country. In saying that, I wish they'd bring up Australian standards so we start to look around and look at the people and think, holy shit, is this the people I'd be willing to die for? These people that don't believe in Australia Day? Are these the people that can't, that are permanent residents that can't even speak English? Are these the people with no assimilation? Who am I supposed to be setting myself up as a warfighter for? We need to have faith in our country. And that also means step out of the way and let someone in who loves the country. It is what it used to be, Wingy. It is what it used to be. How long before you start your solutions or opinions to make the Rob D, how long before you start your solutions or opinions to make the ADF a meritocracy? We can't do it now. We can't. This is good ideas for people that are in leadership positions who could listen to this, that can sneak it in. Because at the moment, we're working with some cooked books, I'd say. We're letting women think they can come and join infantry. We know they can't. They've proved they can't. There's nowhere in the world where they do that and do it successfully. Look after our gals, give them a job that they're great for, let them excel, and let them, have a 20-year, 40-year career. And this will all be lining up in a second. Chicky Diggy, all the roles I went from the beginning of my recruiting were priority roles. It's now taken so long, they aren't priority roles anymore. I hear you there too, mate. Which one are you looking at, Chicky? Let us know. Kaz, I've seen a lot of comments on other pages saying that why join up? This country is gone. I get where they're coming from. Look, I sort of do too, but I'm a leopard that doesn't change its spots. I don't have to like you to help you. When I see people in the street, I'll still give a cup of coffee to a street urchin that's ruined his life with drug abuse and treating his family like shit. But I'm not there to judge him, until he does something to me or someone else in front of me. The benefits of the military career aren't just the fact that you're serving the nation. The fact that you get those 12 weeks off a year, you get excellent pay, excellent medical, the adventure, the opportunity to live a life that is not the civilian OH&S, DEI crap. And understand this, that all the politics tends to fall away once you get past Kapuka, when all of a sudden you can't quit anymore. The door slams shut behind you. You've got to finish what you start, and then you see some people really realize that infantry is not what the catalogue says. It's hard graft, and you'll never be a finished product. You're always a product in work. Ozoff, it's hard, Rod. The people listening, unfortunately, aren't the ones in the leadership positions that can make those decisions. Absolutely, Aussie. Absolutely. The danger of speaking out as a young officer is you can get cancelled by those above you, and then you're basically walking the rest of your career like you're in mud. Wes is saying, I've seen a bloke rock up to his interview with a rugby support gear a couple of weeks back. Okay. How do you go to an interview when they're all online? Anyway, cadets leadership. Cadets, not so much. It's funny. Cadets tend to go and join cadets, but not many cadets actually join the military. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. And it is very much also, cadets is a little bit like Lord of the Flies. There's some weird shit that goes on in there. We have to make the military career again, bring back DFRDB. I agree. And we'll be talking about that in Aftercare of the Soldier. Wingnut patriotism is still alive, and, well, I just don't believe in the politicians. Unfortunately, you no longer get to say my piece. I have a toe on the line. Yes, you do, and yes, you're right. And this is why it is so good when we see Mr. Trump at the moment, that he's showing everyone around the world what the standard is, what it can be, and giving hope to other nations so they can look at the actual leadership of their own countries, of their own businesses, and say, hey, why aren't you more like that? Why aren't you about the results? Why aren't you working on making the team work harder, get patriotic for the team so they want to stay longer? Bring back the gold watch. G'day, Kaz. Fallen on hard times. Applied once before as a shit kicker kid, but thinking about reapplying. Have any tips for a single bloke who's ready to go all in? The best thing you can do, Noscope 69, is come and join Patreon so that we can fix your problems individually, one on the phone. There's only so much I can do in comments, mate. And team, if you join Patreon and you're watching now, don't join as a free member. Don't, because this is not a Facebook site. All the work I do is on the phone, listening, talking, solving problems, and bringing down anxiety for the individuals for the price of a coffee a month. So if you get on there for free, all that happens is nothing. Nothing. I've only got so much time, and that has to be given to those, okay, that are in the Black Legion and sign up so I can give them 100% of the advice that they need. Your conversation is going to go for an hour or more, depending on the feedback, whether you want to talk for that long or not. But we definitely get a lot done in concentrated amount of time, and meritocracy is what you get. Okay. Jared, too many people are clogging up the recruiting wait list that really shouldn't be there. I just wonder if they be honest with some of these people from the start. That's right. They're not. That's a really great point, actually. There's people that are taking the piss out, that are joining, turning up unfit, not ready, not understanding what they're going in for, a whole bunch of physical and mental problems they know that prevent them from actually serving as well. It all takes up the time. If I was in recruiting, what I would do is I'd be saying, and if you're from recruiting and you're listening right now, I'd be saying the next person that rings me up, I'm going to give them a start to finish solution as much as I can. And then when I hang that one up, pick up the next one. I'm going to give them as much proactivity as I can. So at least each day I get 2 or 3 people in. That'd be a great, if every single person DFR was doing that, that'd be great. That's what I'm doing right now, is helping people every single day on public holidays, in between cooking exotic fried rice, seeing the boys going down to the War Memorial, put my name, my hand, my palm on the names of the fallen, which leads us to our next point, leadership standards. Okay, the leadership standards. We've got so many people that go to RMC and OSB, and one of the things that scares me is we've got a 100% success rate pretty much for the officer selection board, but at the same time, I'm like, it shouldn't be that easy. It seems like they're taking every single person. I don't want them to take every single person unless every single person we've sent is just the notch above, is just really, really good. No personality disorder. They have studied their past. They have signs of real leadership in the past. They can communicate. They are fit. They dress well. You know, those individuals that want to be part of the conversation, but also have the moral courage when I've got the physical courage to do their job and stand up to those that are above them. And the best thing they can do for leadership standards, get rid of the fucking senior ranks. We don't need them. We don't need fuck all of them. Lieutenants should be there for 10 years. Captains for 1 year, to 2 years max, and then on to major if they've passed those tests. But if lieutenants went in for 10 years, then they can create the perfect teams. They can actually hone their skills on the ground, setting themselves up for multiple, multiple careers, to tell you the truth, within the infantry corps, and then they could stem off into either support corps or continue up the chain, with those drop boxes. The leadership needs to have a reformation. They need to go in there and say, who do they need, who do they not need? Like a DOGE, the Department of Government efficiency that's happening in the USA. Someone needs to go through there, go, what do you do, mate? How do we have this many soldiers and we've got almost as many officers? What the fuck? That's too many chiefs in anyone's measurement. That guy gone, that gal gone. And our leaders, when they are our leaders, should look like the obvious choice. I never want to see a female leader at the top of fire brigade. She couldn't hold the hose. She's not the best for that. Best female cop? No, don't believe it. Best female soldier? Don't believe it. I don't believe it. It needs to be normally a reluctant promotion that takes someone from a position and says, your job in the trenches is nearly done. You might be an NCO and then get told, come across, we're going to put this on your shoulder. The army needs you. This is bigger than the institution. It needs someone who can get those lower gears engaged and make us go forward. Always looking like we pass the attitude test when the US turns up, when England turns up. Men wearing dresses, fuck off. No. DEI, gone. Leadership is not about making you feel good about yourself. It's about putting runs on the board. Jared, how many people clogging up the recruiting list that really shouldn't be there? I just wonder if they can be honest with some of the people from the start. Yep. Yep. Anthony, nice name. Tony. Hey, Kaz, it looks like I may be able to join. Like I have nerve damage in my right hand. I'm pretty devastated because it was something I wanted to do, but I do have a backup plan if I couldn't join. Anthony, and until they tell you can't, you can still apply. It might just change the actual role choice you go in for, my man. Hit the like button if you can, Tim. One of my good mates who finished RMC said to me that cadets who got top awards during his time don't actually deserve them. Look, we've seen a lot of people have got the Sword of Honor and, all of that sort of stuff from RMC when they came over and became on the RBC course, and I was actually pretty happy with them. We got some excellent officers, but what happened was when they get to RBC, they don't fail them no matter how bad they are. Retest after retest after retest. Now, men are meant to follow leadership potentially to their deaths. And if that's the case, the leadership has to be, one of competency. We can lose people in battles that we're successful in. Right? But you want to know it didn't come down to a lack of leadership, decisive capability, that we were sending worse leaders into the role. Yeah. I can handle losing my life for a righteous fight. With good leadership, good teammates, and a country that stands behind me saying, you'll be here for you when you come back on your shield. No, so RMC churns out a lot of shit. They do, mate. They do. And again, it's because the standards have dropped so significantly. The fact that it's gone from 18 months down to a year, I'd be interested in seeing what they've actually got rid of. What is 6 months of training that for 30 years all of a sudden isn't important anymore? Yeah, you do, Bucko. You do, but that's classed as your year 10 or year 12 certificate in English and maths. Okay, Aussie. Speaking from experience here, Sort of Honor just goes to the Sergeant Major. Now the King's Medal goes to the top academic performer. All right. Well, why don't they also have, Aussie, there should always be the soldier's choice or the cadet's choice who gets an Australian flag and something else, because the one thing that you never get wrong is best on ground, the peer-on-peer evaluation. That's always goes to a great person. The person that was chosen by all those on the ground in an anonymous vote. It always works. And that should be the proudest moment, to tell you the truth. Okay, now, what do you think makes a good army officer? Well, leadership. But the problem is we think too many people have got mixed up with managers and leaders. There's massive difference between being a manager and a leader. To me, a leader is someone that in the absence of a higher authority, peers will choose someone who they believe is the best amongst themselves. So there's a lot of time a reluctant leader who is chosen by his peers in the absence of supervision or direction. What do I mean by that? Okay, that could be a cricket team. You got 12 guys there turn up and they decide to pick a captain between you and they decide who it is. Why they do it, they don't know. There's something about him that appeals to them. Likability, believability, capability, lethality, the fact that guy, is able to communicate well as well. That's a massive one. Manager, anyone can be a manager. It's just whether you're good or not on a scale. Donald Trump is an incredible leader. He can do what no other man can do. He has a cult of personality, like him or not, that makes the oxygen in the room disappear. He can change things by a swipe of his pen. Tanya, I thought infantry officer was competitive. I think you're trying to say. It is competitive. At the School of Infantry, it definitely is. And when you get in the battalion, you got to remember in every rifle company, there is one platoon command. In every rifle company, there is 3 lieutenants. Out of those 3 lieutenants, there's a competition. And then between the captains of the rifle companies, there's a competition. And then between the majors, there's competition. Between the battalions and lieutenant colonels, there's a competition. There's always competitive nature, and that's what it's about. I have to double take when my defence interviewer said Navy don't do PFA. Yeah, they're probably the one people that should do a PFA because they've got a limited amount of space that they can operate in. I understand that. Love the Navy. I don't understand how people are getting paid to be nuclear submariners, but we don't have any. That's interesting. Ozoff, Tomya, is subject. Really, the way it works currently is there is a list of merit, and whoever is above you and applied for infantry will get it until the spots are full. Yep. If you say you want to go to infantry, chances are you're going to get an infantry role. So if all the best officers choose logistical course, then the infantry gets given shit. Officers are great officers, but officers are never going to choose logistics, are they? Someone with all of that, they're going to join just like it's sports. They're going to go there because they're not normally going there to better their career at the start of a career. They're not normally going there for a political end state, or to become a chief of the defence force. They're going there because they want to be a lieutenant. They want to lead men. But then they get disappointed when they get to the battalion and they might only have a platoon for 1 year, 2 years maybe. And then they're out of there. No. The learning and the testing and the failing and the relationships are forged at lieutenant, not at captain, not at major. It's too late. It's all at lieutenant. I remember all the lieutenants I worked with, and I know which ones I loved. First year is always, he's cutting his teeth, but he's getting his experiences. But then by the time they're leaving, you love them. Simon, what's wrong with logistics? People that you don't go to join a rugby team and say, yeah, but I really, really want to be the guy with the oranges on the side. I really want to be in boxing. I never want to be the boxer. I just want to be the cut guy. Of course, you want to be the athlete, the hero of the actual event of the group. There'll be always jobs given to people who are logistically minded, of course. Dude, I'm going blind. I swear to God. Intel and SEGs get good officers. Nothing wrong with logistics. Without supplies, bullets don't fly. Look, it's one of those things that I don't know why people take so much, take it to heart when they choose a job that is not combat core, but then think that we're teasing you when we just spit the facts. Yeah, I don't understand it. Sorry, mate, defence life, forget to cook it, so you'll have to be a crip for today. I'm not sure what that means. Every job is important in the military, absolutely, and everyone is replaceable. We need to remember that too. Everyone needs everyone. Grunts don't make it without support, absolutely. Yeah. You really know how to hurt a guy, Kaz, bastard. That's okay, mate. That's okay. That's all right. But I don't care what corps someone is in. I just want them to have the standards and be great. That's all I want. When a lieutenant is not fit, I automatically think, if you're a slob, how can I trust you out in the field environment? You're telling me that you want to be an officer, but you're not fit. What if you can't keep up with a platoon? What if you're getting beaten by soldiers that have to call you sir? That is wrong. If you're a lieutenant, you make sure that you're the best in the platoon at push-ups or best in the platoon at the run. Be the best at something. That leads us on to one standard for all. In the army at the moment, what we've got, people say we're all one army. Bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. Bullshit. You've got combat corps up here and you've got the rest down here. That is not through the fault of people that aren't in combat corps. That is what's happened, because when we used to go in under one standard for recruiting, what ended up happening was that we all used to come under one standard, but now they're saying combat soldiers, that standard, support this standard, but you get paid the same. Okay, when you're in the military, you can't be above J2, or in your medical, you need to be ready to go all the time if you're in combat corps, but you don't have to be ready. You can have permanent injuries, etc., in logistical corps or support corps. You can even go on operations because you need medical facilities. Now, there are so many drops in standards, fitness tests, across the board of requirements that we can never say again until those standards are realigned and calibrated, like a wheel alignment, that we're all one army. You can find someone in, we'll say, patrolling platoon. This is one of the fittest people you'll ever meet, and you go, geez, I thought he was special forces. No, he's patrolling platoon. Good. Every single area I go to, I should find people, whether it be the postman, whether it be the SIG, whether it be the engineer, whether it be you name it. I should see abnormalities there where people are just guns at what they do, especially in medical corps. That's where you'd expect to see some of the fittest, strongest, capable individuals. So one standard for all, otherwise you create contempt. It happens with monkeys, it happens with humans, and it happens with horses. Is Albo chief chef? No. Jackie Brown. There's two big names right there. If you want to get in direct entry SASR, is it worth? You won't go in direct entry SASR. You'll go for commandos, direct entry special forces. Okay. Worth going straight out of school? No, never. Should you wait to go through infantry courses first? Look, my advice to anyone going through for direct entry, and people in commandos or SAS might say differently, is don't do that. But absolutely, it's the hardest way to get to commandos or SAS, because you don't know the language of army. You don't know the language of patrolling, of combat arms, of SOPs, TTPs, of weapon systems, the dexterity that goes with it. Your fitness, you're only going off what you know as a civilian. I'd say go in, join infantry, because that's the pathway to special forces that has courses that are in many ways transferable to special forces. And then from there, you can see by doing your training, by going and then to support company in a time when you get your blue book filled out, your competency logbook within your platoon, you might completely change your mind and go, hey, dude, I don't want to go to SAS anymore. I don't want to go to commandos anymore. I love it here in the platoon. I love it. Or it could be, righto, I used to want to go for commandos. Now I want to go for SAS. I wanted to go for SAS. Now I want to go for commandos. You don't know who you are until you actually join and then see what the standard is. And then can you go past it? When you do it, build a wall, build steps, do it in a logical manner to give you the best chance of succeeding. Dave D is here. Welcome to 2025, sir. Mr. Buccarini, pep platoon equals bladder lizards. I've never heard that one. I like it. Tristan E, Jack Brown, the youngest SASR candidates are like 24 years old. Watched a documentary on the recruitment. Actually, Mark Wales was in my rifle company when I joined, or after I joined, and he's gone over there and done a fantastic job. He is an excellent man, not just an officer, not just an individual. He's a great Australian. Everything about that guy is bulletproof. I love him. And he showed on Survivor what a good egg he is as well. Watch his video. It's just come out 3 days ago. I think it's absolutely in your wheelhouse. Hey, Wingy, cheers for all the help for where I am now, Kaz. More on the way. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. That donation will go towards my daughter's future, building bricks for her as she gets older. Thank you very, very much. Wingy. Mr. Buccarini, concentrate on getting in the army before you even think of special forces. Some of you have been watching too much YouTube. Very true, says Mr. Buccarini. Trevier, I've never seen so many overweight people pass out of recruit school as we have these days. What recruiting stands? Absolutely. Trev, and this is where we don't need a PFA to get in the army. What there should be is the fear of the fucking BFA. That you do not leave Kapuka until you pass to BFA. Reason being, we should not be passing on standards or broken tools to the next tradesman. And that takes us to, where are we? Bam, warfighting standards. Our warfighting standards, understand we've covered recruiting, we've covered leadership, we've covered one standard for all self-explanatory. Now we're talking about warfighting standards. We're not here to deal with cyclones. We're not here to deal with floods. Soldiers are here to deal with war fighting. Army Reserve, fantastic. Give them the jersey. They're there for domestic defence, for domestic assistance. Pardon me. Make them proud of the uniform and the Australian flag on their shoulder. Absolutely. But when you are in an infantry battalion, your job is to train for war. When you're not trained for war, you're resting, doing administration, spending time with mum and dad and Denny. That's what you're meant to be doing. Yeah. So warfighting standards need to be about hard training. It needs to be about competition. It needs to be about budget being spent correctly. It needs to be futuristic. Now we need to have podcasts. We need serving soldiers like war pigs from 7RAR. We need these guys to have a voice where they can communicate and they become fucking free advertising, recruiting, the best in the world for free. Learn how to do more for free. These guys are doing a great job. I'm trying to do a great job at an individual level. But guys, warfighting standards need to be up there. We need the right people for the job. Sorry, no females, combat corps. We need guys to be competing with men. Because at the end of the day, we need to be better than those we go against. And our leadership needs to be in an absolute competition to be able to try and tame that wild stallion, that maverick horse, which is the platoon. The platoon commander is supposed to be getting the respect of the soldiers, not the soldiers the respect of the platoon commander. He's the new guy. Just look at the clarity to let me know how hard it is to get the special forces. Yeah, that's fine, Jack. This is where to ask the questions, my man. This is where to ask the questions. Okay, so warfighting standards. We need soldiers. You don't need a fucking core support for everything we do. We need to have rifle companies on exchanges with the UK. We need them with the USA. And that means to be a permanent thing. In every 4 years, every single soldier within every one of our battalions, and we don't have enough of them, we should be doubling the amount we've got because an infantry soldier can do everything. What we should be doing is sending them on exchange. So every 4 years, you've done at least one overseas exchange for a period of 6 months to a year with a foreign army to build up those relationships through osmosis, to teach them skills that they teach us, and we get to use weapon systems. Fast roping is not a black art. It shouldn't be. I was doing it over fucking 30 years ago out of helicopters. Now it's a special forces continuum. Right? Kill houses, doing it 30 years ago. Doing maritime operations. Now they're going to call it littoral and amphibious. You go, no. It's something you just know how to do. Working with armor. No big deal. Don't need a course report. Just familiarity. You don't need a course report for gas warfare. You just do these things. Have you done it before? Yep. Blue book. Bang. Ticked off. There's a date. Go to the range. Handful of rounds. Put them in the magazine. Do it safely. Make it competition. Have excellent ranges where we have distant targets. None of this fucking 7 meter shit anymore. This 21-foot rule. We're not cops. We're supposed to be engaging people at distance, and then degrading them before they can get close enough to use their weapon systems. Let the guys tell you what should be on the wish list. Jack was posted over to Mr. Buccarini says he was posted over to SASR from 1998 to 2001. Very few made it through the course, mate. A lot of tough guys tried and failed. Dude, I've seen guys so good that failed, and I've seen so many that I looked at and said, no chance, that made it in. It'll never make sense because it's not just fitness. You push yourself to get in and keep pushing yourself till you get even better, faster, stronger. Yep, and I listened to a man with as much wisdom as Wingy. Good man, good words right there. SAS is no easy job. Neither is the Royal Australian Regiment, I tell you now. And the Royal Australian Regiment is the garden from where SAS and commandos pick their flowers. That sounds like a fucking shirt right there. Yeah. Aussie, they've cut away the CQB from RMC and turned it into a week course where you do some study on it, and then that's it. Even with the current wars, boggles me why we'd cut away such important training. The battle shot is very, very important, You just need to be qualified in it. I get it, because you've got to be an OIC of it. So when you actually get out of RMC and you become an OIC for C-class rangers, etc., before going to SAS RBC course, that's where they'll learn all that stuff, matey. Hey, Trevor, mate, thank you very much for the terracotta or Hari Krishna orange. Again, all donations go towards my daughter's future. She's like me. I reckon she's got a bit of ADHD, but I want to make sure in this uncertain future that she has options, so I need to stay alive and keep putting money into her account. So even if she can't find a dude, which she will, she's pretty as a button, you can tell she's got my looks. Yeah. Anyway, but thank you very much, Trevor. And if you've got a question to go with it, Trev, let us know, mate. Appreciation. Can we get some thumbs up for Trev there? Dave D, getting an SAS is a bit like getting picked for the Queensland State of Origin team. That's excellent. I agree. Only Alfie ever got straight in, and a heck of a lot of great players never made it, yet had great careers. Absolutely. And it's hard to stay there. Yep. They'll make you earn that beret every year. You don't just get in and then it's like a crypto that you hold forever. It's not Bitcoin. Buccarini, Kaz is Aussie Dave. X-Rare is chosen company still live in Ukraine. Do you know? Kaz is Aussie Dave X-Rare in chosen company. I don't know, mate. I haven't been tracking it. Sorry. Is that Deadpool? There's a value in doing close range stuff. The combat shooting package incorporates ranges out to 300 meters still. Excellent. That's what we want to know. That's what I'm happy about. Because the battle shot is very important. But we shouldn't be carrying fucking pistols. If anyone that's ever been on operations, I don't think anyone would want a pistol unless they're going on a raid like SASR or commandos in an urban environment with a set target. I couldn't imagine anything worse than doing a 30-kilometre patrol throughout a week with a pistol hanging off my leg, and they're also the most dangerous weapon we carry. The most chance of things going wrong, potential for self-harm through accident, shortest barrel, most dangerous weapon, something else you got to work for. There's no need for them. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you're down to a pistol, you're probably using that on yourself because you're at the Battle of Little Bighorn, and you're surrounded and you're out of bullets with your rifle. Oz off. I wish you had the chance to stay on and become a ranking member of defence so you could implement these policies and reforms. Ozzy, you know what? And thank you very, very much for the donation, mate. My daughter's becoming more Elon Musk as we speak. I would be willing to go to a think tank and drive to Canberra any time where they can go, okay, let's play this one through hypothetically. Let's just say Mr. Simon Stewart, the chief of the army, goes, you know what, I worked with Kaz for a lot of years. I know he's hot-headed. I know he's a bit of a dick, but over 10 years of in the trenches with Kaz, at least I know that he's spoken to now thousands of people that are getting in the military and actually has a hand on that heartbeat. How about you come down, have a cup of coffee, prepare yourself, don't make an idiot out of yourself, wear your suit, wear your medals, so that the people around us understand that we're not dealing with someone who's here just to waste their time, an expert. Be ready to back yourself in front of a group, something that I used to do the best. And let's see if we can't make $1 million discount on training by just doing something that costs nothing. Let's make some changes by people that don't have an ego in the game, that just want to see the best for those that represent us. Survivability to lethality. Man, from down case you can only be in infantry to go into SF, he was saying, or can you go from other combat arms course? They prefer you to come from infantry, mate. And to go to commandos, you have to come from infantry, I believe. Simon, best thing I ever did during training was going to Army Range in South Australia with Super Dart. Taught me so much and helped me with my weapon confidence. Mate, you would have loved training with infantry. I don't know anyone that doesn't actually love it, Simon, when they actually come and work with infantry and realise the ego's not there. You know, we're there to help you be better, to be the best versions of yourself. Craig O, so man from down under, you can get in from any combat role, as sometimes happens. You even get other roles like PDIs that have to go for selection. You can do that for SAS. I don't think you can go to commandos unless you've been to, or the rule has always been you couldn't go to commandos until you'd been to infantry. If that's changed, let me know, but I don't think it has, because commandos are in actual fact just infantry that operate as like a raid company instead of platoons, etc. There is pre-selection course, I believe, that goes for 3 days. If you don't pass that, you don't get to start day one of selection. Yeah, there was Bucko. They've got rid of. I think they've got rid of that too. It goes back and forth, a pre-selection sort of process for a pre-selection process. That's what I did in 1999. Yeah, and it was goddamn hard. Blakey, that's an interesting perspective on pistols. I've never been in combat, so my opinions, mate, but wouldn't any extra weapon be valuable in case you lose your weapon? You won't lose your weapon. Okay, you won't lose it. Mate, if you lose your, if you run out of ammo, there's also a problem, because you're meant to be learning all the time about, using your fire discipline, i.e. when you fire a machine gun and you're carrying between 800 and 1,000 rounds, there's normal rate and there's rapid rate, and a gunner fucking doesn't own his ammunition. The platoon commander does. So normal rate is 60 rounds a minute, 2 to 3 round bursts. Rapid rate is 120 rounds a minute, 2 to 3 round bursts. The reason why it is so wrong when you see people just firing long bursts of auto, unless there's an absolute reason that they can contest to, like re-winning the initiative or breaking contact or returning fire if you've been ambushed, etc., is platoon commanders need to make and section commanders need to make a timetable, okay, for a fire plan. Funny enough, I created the fire plan for the infantry textbook, and so they have to know how much ammunition we've got, how long can it last, how long can I do a reconnaissance for, how long can I do this, how long can we stay here for before decisive action is required. So you won't run out of ammo, and if you do, you are in big shit or you've done something real wrong. Black Doggy, okay, if I get to watch you live, I've been in and out of the process to join for a few years, but the time is right now, so I'm aiming to get in soon. Lack Doggy, that's a great name. What I'd say to you, mate, is jump on Patreon, come and see me, and you and I have a one-on-one call where we can answer every question, you to go in and give yourself the best chance. Oops, you're offline, check your connection again. Okay, Miss Jane, because I want you to be successful, but there's things you can do that are wrong. Mr. Buckaroni, RA6 had 2 Special Forces squadrons, 126 squadron for the Commandos and 152 Signal Squadron, which was one of the 6 squadrons in SASR, 3 by Sabre squadrons, 152 SIGs, Operational Support Squadron, and Base Squadron. Now we've completely confused people, haven't we? Oops. Terry Pham, sounds like Vietnam here. Hey, Kaz, during your career, have you gotten the chance to become instructor at Kapuka, and what is your experience like? Mate, I never wanted to go to Kapuka, and the reason being, one, a big part of my instructional personality is probably familiarity, and also absolute dark humor. No, I never went to Kapuka. I don't want to go somewhere and just teach them, the basics. My job is to pick you up when you turn up to the School of Infantry as a platoon commander on a regimental officer's basic course and teach you tactics and leadership, above the line skill sets that you need to be a successful officer or a sergeant, or to be a private soldier as he comes from Kapuka and then comes and learns how to be a warfighter at the School of Infantry under the role of infantry being seek out and close the enemy to kill or capture him, to seize and hold ground or repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain. That was my gig. That's what I did. That's what I was proud of. So no, I'm not interested in going to Kapuka and teaching someone how to walk, Anyway, for asking a question, but don't squads have to respond to fire orders, target direction, and rate of fire, when to fire, something like that? Yeah, you've got your You've got your fire control orders, which are actually conducted by a section commander, etc. But we've also got drills. But overall, the ammunition is owned by the platoon commander. That's why he asks the platoon sergeant where we at with reorgs, and he knows where the how much ammunition he's got from the start. They learn how to do all the fire planning and all that sort of shit when they're doing their ROBC, and they have platoon sergeants to assist them with that. And section commanders should also be monitoring through their 2ICs the ammunition consumption, because if you run out of ammunition, that is low boxes. Yep, and not everyone's going to accept the towel when it gets thrown in. So you are right, Simon. Group range indication type of fire. That's a fire control order right there. I'm not going to teach SOPs here. We don't do that. That would be a breach of my contract to those that make us the best small army in the world. Aussie Oz, yes, Simon, they do that. That's after contact is called, and the secos give the fire control orders, and then the secos feed in the platoon commander so they can do their job. Absolutely. You've got your initial contact drill, which is run down, call, observe, aim, fire, and the secos give the fire control orders. They do, and one initiative or got the enemy suppressed, then what happens is we go to a plan of attack because we don't run. Yep, nor does the kangaroo, nor does the emu. Coat of arms. So the platoon commander, I'm always able to tell him what he needs to know because he owns the sections, and he owns the call sign, and he owns the ammunition. Yep, absolutely. Okay, what else do we have? An important one, because we're running out of time. Okay, this is a big one. This is a big one. And I had a conversation with Mr. Buccarini about this. If you're going to do all this, if you're going to have a Army Reserve, a good side hustle in uni, IBIS, it is so good. It is so good. I've just done a video a couple ago, how to be a millionaire in Army Reserve or the regular army. If you want to be a millionaire, I suggest you get in touch with me on the bat phone, and I can give you a one-on-one. Understand how to do that. That's not military. That's not financial advice. Well, it kind of freaking is, isn't it? Really. Any sort of advice you give someone is advice. So retirement standards. If you were going to give me your son or your daughter, and I'm going to make you train the only job that has a fitness test twice a year, at minimum, it should be once every month for me. I believe it should happen so that no one is ever coming down the pipe then and saying, hey, what level are you guys at? And I always know when someone's slipping. I don't expect you to be elite fitness when you're in infantry. I don't. I expect you to get to a level of fitness that is competitive and it is capable of getting you outfield, preventing injury and getting the mission done, and you finishing everything you do. But there's a fine line between overtraining, and I'm not talking about doing a hard leg day. I'm talking about actually training souls to the point where you're breaking them. You've got to be very careful. That as platoon commander as well. Fitness was also my expertise. I'm 54 years old now. Other than being sick, I can't do chin-ups anymore because there's something wrong with my immune system, which has taken away my ability to do a lot of activities. But other than that, I've always maintained who I am, and I also project onto other people the standard, the minimum standard I expect from them. The minimum standard. For example, hitting that like button. If I can bring you a video, you can hit a like button. You can do it on a phone. You can do it on a computer. Can't do it on TV. I don't know about that. Okay, I just got home from South Australia, back to Vic. Okay, to the land of communism, Mr. Donny. Actually, as much as I try to hate Melbourne, it is actually a beautiful place. Retirement standards. If you're going to come and do 20 years and go on operational service, then you should almost financially be able to retire at the end of that 20 years. Even if you start at 25, when you're 45, your deal's done. Good on you. Or at least say to them, you're going to get some sort of pension, no more tax. Or what if they said if you actually did 20 years in the military, any job you do after that, you're just not allowed to be taxed on? No income tax at all. Thank you for your service. That'd be fantastic. That'd be fair. There should be something that gives you the chance. Chances are you've given up a relationship. You've given up a wife. You might be even estranged from your children. It's important to give people the respect that they've given the nation, the sacrifice they've given it, even though they gave it voluntarily. You don't know whether you've been in for 20 years, 40 years, or 1 year, when you're going to be tested by an opposition force. So we need to treat every single one of you seriously. Your life is worth everything to your family. Yeah. Go to a war memorial and tell me what rank someone is. There's no ranks on a war memorial because we're all the fucking same. This is why I got so angry when I saw the pictures of the Aboriginal shit on the side of an RSL that was clearly written by a white person, probably a lawyer or a lefty. They did it on an RSL instead of a bloody a council building. I don't care. Don't. Okay. If you get caught, you get caught. You go to jail. Or have to clean it up. But when you do it on RSL, just remember the one place that Aboriginals were treated like absolute equals was in the military forces. Yep, they turned up. Okay, they fought hard. They went to Gallipoli. They went to all the different places and they earned their stripes. And then when they came home, yep, they even say the best we were ever treated, the most equality we've ever had was when we were in the military. Everyone has to earn their food for the day. Because of the government we have. Lots of laugh, Victoria, only because of the government we have. Yeah. And there's still just too many masks wearers down there. It's bizarre. But I love the Great Ocean Road that was built by World War I returned veterans. Fantastic. Warfighting Standards. Now, after you've done 20 years, I think you've done enough, lads. Ladies, I think you've done enough. I think the country should say thank you. Even if you were in the RAF and you never went overseas, if you're in the Navy, you never went overseas, if you're in the Army, you never went overseas, you didn't fucking know that. You joined up for 20 years, you gave your service, you turned up for the fight. What we need to definitely do is bring back honourable and dishonourable because there's a massive difference. Okay, we're going to get out of here, team. We've been on for an hour. Sell up MC, get to the New South Wales. There you go. Yeah, $1.60 for ARA, 60 for ARES. It should be all right, guys. It is time. Simon Powell is ringing the bell. Ding 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 ding. I've got a house inspection 2 days. A day and a half. But I look forward to speaking to all the people on the Patreon. Get on there. If you don't, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you get on there, don't go on as a free member. Go on the Black Legion so I can speak to you. Ash Stageman. 5 days ago, 5 days ago until I'm stolen again. Back to School of Infantry. Well done. Can we get some thumbs up for Stagey? He's about to hit the 40-degree heat, and maybe even turn up when it's raining. Jackie Brown, thanks, blokes. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Buckaroony. Is it stand by bed, Kaz? Not for me. Hey, Jen, the lass from North Queensland, from Mackay. Hey, don't forget to like before you go. Dwayne, we need to speak soon, mate. I want to see how you're going, how you are, what makes you tick still. And I hope you had a great Australia Day like everyone else. Team, take it easy. Remember, okay, thank you for everyone giving their time for the donations, etc. for my daughter. Okay, remember tonight was Recruit Standards, Leadership Standards, One Stand for All, Warfighting Standards, Retirement Standards. Have a life of serving in honour to your nation and to yourself and to your family name. Do something different. Make it about meritocracy. Make your life matter. Make it count. There is 6 there, but show me a career that doesn't have it. Guys and gals, I'm here to serve you, and I respect all of you in advance as you're getting ready to go back to serving in your uniform of the Australian Army, the best small army in the world. And if there's one last thing I can leave, if you are watching right now and you're a senior officer, turn the shit around with Kapuka. They should never have got rid of the visit to the war memorial. If you're going to serve this nation, you should go and see where you're going to be lying if you die. And that is at the Canberra War Memorial. Every soldier should be taken there to understand the gravity of the footsteps of the Anzacs. With that, see you later. Peace to your mother. Kaz, in the trenches with Kaz.